I want to clarify some things because there's been some creative use of semantics about the debt. So over and over again, we hear that we aren't taking enough money from the American people and the businesses that they create. If we let them keep their money, it's apparently classified as bad debt for the government, which is quite the take. Dr. Bernstein, as you stated, apparently Americans spending more of their money because of the tax cuts is not useful investment. Never mind that GDP growth rates have increased since the tax cuts, and according to the Fed and CBO, it has been largely due to consumer spending and some business investment. But I guess that isn't useful because there is this belief, and it is a belief, that only the government can possibly make smart investments. This is an odd thought, this notion that our debt is a result of not taking enough of our constituents' money, as opposed to us spending it on unsustainable entitlement programs, which, by the way, as a share of GDP, is the only category that is changing radically. So federal revenue in absolute terms has continued to increase by 4% last year. And as a share of GDP, it dropped, as Dr. Bernstein has noted, only slightly recently, but it's on track, as this graph notes, it's on track to be back at historical levels within just a couple of years. So if we don't cherry pick the data, we see that we aren't that far from average federal revenue. What has happened in the last couple of years? The fastest growing wages have been in the bottom quintile of earners, and it's not even close. Child tax credits have doubled, which matters to low-income earners. Businesses are hiring, which matters to all people, not just the 1%. 80% of taxpayers are paying less this year, and we all know that it is the wealthy earners in high-tax states who ended up paying more. Let's stop pretending otherwise. And this notion that we are regressive is interesting. Dr. Bernstein, how does our country compare to others in the OECD, as it pertains to progressivity of the tax code? Where does America stand?
Pretty low, not only in terms of progressivity, but also in terms of the amount of tax collection of the federal government.
Okay, well, the OECD data completely disagrees. In fact, they have us at number one.
So that's including state and local. You can't do anything about state and local.
It includes all taxes?
Yeah, you can't do anything about state and local.
So we're number one.
Federal taxes were made far more regressive by the tax cut. I mean, that's not a debatable.
But as a country, we are number one, and it's not even close. Ireland is second place. It's not even close. Progressivity of the tax code.